So this is the top of the valley where all the water comes down and then it floods down there when there's high. You can see how high up it goes. It floods, creates a problem for the site. This piece of land is currently being used to make bricks, so that's why it's like that. You can see the stacks of bricks there. Those are going to be fired, so it basically means that they'll burn, make a great giant kiln and sort of bake the bricks. And this is where we're going to get the soil from. You can see here what they're digging. But we originally come to this site actually because the gentleman who owns this piece of land wanted a fish pond. And we said, well, you could build one. This is how you'd do it. You'd build it here. Of course, flooding is an issue, so you have to make sure you have good banks so the water carries on down here. And in a stroke of what I think is just... I love it. I love the efficiency of it. Basically, we need soil. He needs to get rid of soil to make a fish pond. So we're going to share the costs. So he's going to give us some money to help with the construction of the fish ponds. We are going to save money because we won't need as much soil. We have to pay for soil. So some of the labour for digging he's going to pay us, and then he saves on his costs because we'll use some of our money to pay for the labour. So all in all, we win out. And yeah, this is the site. It's very good. This is the top of the water, where the water goes down for the dams. We're going to build that down there, and this is where we're getting the soil from. And the gentleman who owns this land wants to build a fish pond, so we're going to be doing that at the same time as we're collecting soil for the dam, which is just great. So this is how far we've gone. The guys are staying here, cooking from there. I love this rock, by the way, just so spectacular, covered in vegetation. Anyway. The size of the pond that we're building, you can see here where the strings are. It goes all the way up, pretty much there. I think we estimated it was 12 metres this way by 30, I think, yeah, 12 by 30. So it's a decent sized pond. This piece of land, it's not uniform, so it makes it a bit challenging to dig out the pond to the right size, but I think it will definitely work. And the important thing really is just making sure we've got good, strong banks that side of the river. So we don't get flooding. And then where they're digging the bricks at the top, there's we'll put an inlet there, so we'll control the water flow. But yeah, not a bad site. We'll see how much digging we get done. Like I said, I just love the efficiency of this. Win-win for both, right? We get the soil that we need for free, and he pays some of the costs. And then for the actual site, he gets reduced labour effectively for digging the ponds, and which is all beneficial to the hospital, who is, remember, paying for all this work. So we want to try and make it, so we're not actually doing it as a profit, we're basically just doing it at cost. Yeah, it's good to be able to support them in this sense. So yeah, pretty pleased with the whole thing. Look how steep that is. You can imagine the water running down, just intense, and then it just goes down to that culvert like I showed you and flows over the road. That's the river. You can see how it flows down. That's that spectacular rock I was talking about. And then where we're hoping to build the dam is a bit further down. You can see some of the problems, right? Look, there's a log across there. That probably came from the heavy rains that we had like yesterday. And as soon as that reaches the culvert, it just blocks it, and then you get all the water just goes over the road and then straight down into the hospital. So what we're trying to do is obviously stop that and create any blockages further upstream so the culvert stays unblocked, and also just slow the water down if we need to, so that again there's time for water to drain out. So this is the site. See, that bit should be, water will often spill out from over here, over the top. Yeah, it's quite a nice site. So yeah, not too far. I'm going to bring a wheelbarrow down here with the soil. We'll also get rid of this soil down in this middle here, which has just been swept down. Leave the rocks, of course, but the soil will go into sacks and then just create a bit of a lagoon here. Water will continue to flow out, but during peak rainfall, when it's really heavy, water then get backed up against the dam. And you reduce the amount of water going downstream for a bit, and then that really helps with draining. People actually come here. It's a good thing. This morning, that water there is an old natural spring, which is sort of warm water. And you often find people bathing there, you know, just totally naked, usually men, always men. And so yeah, there's no embarrassment. Why should there be, really? But anyway, so not suitable for cameras, so you're sort of lucky that that's not there today. Always have to censor it. So doing something a bit different today. Some flood defence systems. Down there is the hospital, and there's been 2 severe floods that have happened in the last few years. And one of the reasons is this culvert, where the stream comes down, gets blocked with logs. Then the water often comes down here, comes down this side, and it all flows down the road and not down here. And then when it gets down the road, it flows into the hospital and creates a huge problem. Just here at the culvert, this is the thing that often gets blocked. You can see a bit of debris down here, but not too much at the moment. But yeah, when it gets blocked, it can then flow onto the road. It also, you can't quite see, but that side there, water comes down this side, around this sand pile, and will go down onto the road. When it gets to the road, it's a straight shot all the way down to around about there, and then it just goes into the hospital grounds. Whereas what we're trying to do is get the water to come down this channel. When it gets there, it slopes down and then goes around the hospital. So that's the sort of name of the game and the plan. So we'll probably try and put some teeth in here. What I mean by that is just some logs that go across that will act as a final sort of defence. They will block anything that comes down and make sure that this culvert doesn't get blocked, because that's what we really want to avoid. And then I'll show you where we're building the site. You can see here people use it for washing at the moment. There's also this little natural spring here. But this is where the excess water often comes down, and it comes round, it goes away from the stream. You see people washing here. Just get out of the way. And then further upstream is where we're going to work on the flood defence. So you can see the water coming down here. These tanks are the hospitals. They actually provide water to the hospital. So all their needs here. Quite old work. And this is the other part where you get a lot of the channel's just there, but it comes down here, goes round over there, and it avoids the stream, goes down there and goes onto the road. But the place that we've aimed to do the dam is here. And yeah, curve it around these trees, use what we can, and it'll be good. So we're going to build a dam here to slow the water down. We'll allow some of it to come out, but it'll be a load of sacks along here, stop the water coming down here, slow the water, and then hopefully stop the flooding. So that's the proposal. Pauson's just on orientation, as he puts it. He's just explaining to the porters, the men who will be doing the hard labour, what it is that we're doing. So he's pointing to the sacks, I presume. I don't quite understand what he's saying. You know, creating the wall there to go around. So yeah, we're going to use some of that soil, like I said, so we can start from this part. So this is them constructing the bridge. So we'll wheelbarrow it across and then down to the site. Looks pretty good.